Okay, so the day has come. And for you people, like I said, if you have not seen Power of the Doctor yet, you may want to exit the room. Okay? So, for you folks who've not seen it yet, the door is that way. Okay? I don't want anybody to come back later and go, "Oh, you spoiled me." Okay, now, there was a lot of running around. It did go a bit fast, the pace. But at the same time, I enjoyed the story, which I think is more important than anything else. It was just, I don't know how to describe it. Oh, man. So, I've had that file for years, that spoiler alert. Why is British TV is still dying? Dying? Alright, well, here's the thing. What, can you hear a siren? I can't hear anything. Sorry about that. Hang on. I wasn't aware it was playing the actual sound. Let's see if I can kill it. Let's see. Let's try. First time using it. I thought I had the sound turned off. My apologies. Let's get rid of it for now. My apologies. I can't hear it. That's the weird part. I'm going to have to do something about that. My apologies on that. I can't hear it here, which is weird. But yeah, it's turned off now, so it should be catching up on you. Okay, so once again, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. If you're coming into this and you've not seen Power of the Doctor yet, then you might want to head out that way, okay? Sorry about the siren. I did not hear it at all, which I can't figure out for the life of me. I'm going to have to work on that. Oh, well. No, it didn't come over my speakers. Now, here's the thing that got me going. There was all kinds of talk running around, Dr. Freedom, you've lost the plot and all that. And I'm like, guys, how do you explain how Tennant is wearing different clothes, he's carrying a different Sonic, and he's in the 13th Doctor's police box? And so it had to go that way. Also, remember, Ncuti Gatwa was busy, doing some other things. Matter of fact, I think they finished up sex education. I'm not sure. But also, they've just started working on pre-production and all that. And word is they're going to start filming season 14 in November, which was a big shock because, yeah, I really enjoyed the episode. Like I said, I can't complain at all. Like I said, apologies to the siren gang. It didn't come over my speakers, so I thought you were just getting the strobe. I'm going to have to check the settings on that and make sure that's turned off next time, or see if I can change the sound. Like I said, I've never done that with a media file before. I was just playing around with that. But thanks for warning me. Okay. Yeah, very good episode. We got I was really, really tickled at the end. Once again, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. When, William Russell popped in as Ian Chesterton. Even if it was just for a minute or so, I that was worth it. like I said, I'm hoping we're going to get Carol Ann Ford in the 60th. I really am. I was kind of hoping she'd pop up somewhere in this. But, yeah, we got to see the scenes, of course, with David Bradley, Doctors 5, 6, 7, and 8. And I love the way they told the story and all that. Now, why Tegan was having a cow? Tegan left the TARDIS on her own volition. That was a little bit of a puzzler. She walked out the door on her own. Also, I was glad to see, Katie Manning, Bonnie Langford, in there, with that support group that, apparently Dan and, Graham have started. And I'm really hoping something comes out of that. I'm really, really, hoping they take that idea and take it forward. Well, Tegan was always a pain in the ass, so it's not a surprise. I'm glad they kept her, stubbornness in there. Also, we had the key mention of Adric, which I honestly was not expecting. That I had no idea was going to get mentioned. But, her seeing the Cybermen again was, kind of a flashback back to... Yeah, my apologies, Jessica. Yeah, I had no idea that sound was playing. Even though it was playing for you, it wasn't playing for me. You'll notice it didn't come over the microphone here. I'm going to have to find out what happened there. It was a TARDIS malfunction, Captain. Ugh. That's what I'm hoping, because we have heard Mel's name mentioned in the filming of the 60th anniversary. So I'm really hoping that, this is all going to lead into something more. Because, face it, Class didn't work. They tried to tie it to Doctor Who via a location that wasn't even the same location. Sarah Jane Adventures worked. Oh, I wonder, what was the key difference here? Maybe it's because we had a classic companion in the show. But the sad part is, Ace was supposed to appear in Series 2 of Class. And they should have had her there from the beginning, and they might have stood a chance. Yes, the Thasmans will not be happy, I know. But at least they parted on a warm note. That was what was important to me. One of the things I liked about, Chibnall versus Moffat and, his companions didn't go off to become super immortal beings with access to their own time travel stuff. Yaz is going to go on to Earth and make, great changes here on the planet she came from. And she didn't need superpowers or a TARDIS to do it. And that's what I like about versus, Moffat's, well, now I'm immortal. I can travel through space and time on the fart of some alien creature. It just, exactly. But the problem is this. The naysayers are going to go apeshit. They cannot say anything good happened because that kills their narrative. I'm not kidding. They have still been rallying and going mad. And I'm like, guys, 190-minute show. Matter of fact, they're like, when are we going to get Chibnall and Whittaker out of TARDIS? I've been hearing that I don't know how long, and I'm like, they left October 13th of last year, dingus. I'm not... But yeah, it was emotional. But at the same time, we knew it was coming, but it's never easy. Like Bill Potts said back in, Twice Upon a Time, letting go of the Doctor is so hard. And letting go of each incarnation is so hard. Well, the same thing happened with Peter Davison, Shaggy. A lot of people have declared Caves of Androzani to be Peter Davison's best. And he always gets a little irked about that. I know. I really wish we got to see more of her, because in a way I think we got screwed because they only did 10 episodes a season. We had to do that thing because of this, that, these, and those. They decided, I love that. Series 11, we're ending with a average of 7-point-something million viewers. Let's take a year off. Who the hell's bright idea was that? Oh, yep. Now, John, who's been telling him about this stuff, huh? Yeah, we've been in on this. We know what was going on. But nobody would listen. They called us mad. They called us disturbed. They said we lost the plot. They said our brain was on drugs. But I was like, no. Yeah, that was very touching scene there. Plus, I love the fact they used the holographic thing so that the doctor appeared to each of them, in the form they knew. I really love that. Now, have they confirmed November of next year? Because that just doesn't make sense to me. Why did you film 3 specials so you can air them in November of next year? Why did you even bother to film them this year? Yeah, Christmas won't be back till 2023, sadly. Alright, I'm going to save the 60th trailer okay, they have confirmed that, then they're freaking idiots. Because, once again, you have to be consistent. These year-offs are what's going to end up killing this show. It ain't going to be a showrunner. It ain't going to be some bad plot, or it's not going to be virtue signaling. It's not going to be what you call it. It's this stupid-ass year gaps. It's the old saying, out of sight, out of mind. And that's what happens. That's where they lose a lot of their fan base. Well, the thing is, I'm really hoping so, Ross. I really am. How you been doing, Ross? Hadn't seen you in a while. Because that just literally doesn't make any sense. You filmed 3 individual specials. You did the same thing for Tenants last year. Yet you spaced them out over the course of the year so you'd have something to watch. Now, wait, why British TV is declining and British is going to paid streaming services and free live TV apps as app channels on the free TV app? Why is that? Don't look at me. I'm not a bean counter. But here's the problem. All right, as I've told y'all before, I fully predict by the time I shuffle off my immortal coil and leave this world, there's going to be no broadcast television anymore. It's going to be all, what do you call it? It's going to be all streaming. Because streaming is the new wave. Streaming is the new things. Yeah, I'm just glad to hear from you, Ross. It's been a long time, been wondering how you've been doing. Well, it is a year off. Because as of right now, we're sitting here, it's October 23rd. And if they don't start airing the specials till November of next year, that's just under 13 months. It's 12 months and a week. And to me, that's moronic. You're trying to jumpstart a new era, but now you're going to take the show off for basically a year. I'm not kidding. You don't have to be Einstein to figure out. And like I said, they did the same thing in Series 11. They did the same thing with Capaldi's one season. And then they wonder why the ratings dropped. They did it back in 2016. You correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going off the brain box. They took a year off, and then the ratings plummeted. They did the same thing to Jodie after her first year. And why? Because now you got to bring those fans back who don't know the show's still there. Plus, a lot of the viewing's gone over to streaming services more than anything. I use a lot of TV apps because I have a smart television. My wife and we have no broadcast TV reception in this house. I want to think about that before I rate it, Lewis. I don't want to put a number on it yet. I want to watch it at least one more time. All right, Omega Files for this episode, we're aiming for Saturday, about 6-ish, and we're going to do it on StreamYard, and we're going to do it live unless something happens. Now, StreamYard is free. We can do the show live. The problem with Zoom is, for you folks who've tuned in to the latest, we haven't had an Omega Files, of course, in a long time. But what happened was with Zoom, it began doing these things where you're recording it and you get gaps in the audio. And you can hear the gaps while you're recording it. So one time I even had Lady Gallifrey sit in on a panel, and she was there just to record the episode. And guess what? Exact same gaps in the audio, exact same problems. Which means it's not my system, can't be her system, unless you're and we have high-speed internet here, and our computers, are a few years old, but Zoom never did this before, ever. We never had a problem with Zoom recording podcasts in the past. And after the last time they updated, like 2 or 3 times ago, this crap started. And I think it's because of something they've done to it. Well, yeah, the good news is, even though we're looking, it won't be exactly 13 months. Let's say they go for the first week in November. It'll be 12 months and a week, hopefully. But like I said, it's ridiculous. Why did you film 3 specials if you're only going to air them November of next year? It's moronic. It's idiocy. It's God. I thought my bosses were imbeciles sometimes back in the day. I'm not. It's Well, yeah. The master always has a backup plan, especially in regards to his own mortality or her own mortality. Well, the thing was, they needed somebody to take over for the interim. And you see, the thing is now, I can't figure out, why did you even bother then? Well, all right, Trekipedia, spoiler alert, yes. Yeah, but like I said, it's moronic. It goes against, you have to keep the show in the public eye. You can't take a year off and go, whoop, we're back again, everybody. Just like one of the things I hated with The Walking Dead. They started doing these mid-season breaks. And by the time it comes back, I'm like, wait a minute, you mean it's been back for like 6 months now? I didn't even know it. I had to go back and rewatch the last half of Series 10 before I could watch Series 11. Yeah, it sounds like they're not going to air the 3 specials to November of next year. Apparently they've confirmed this, which, like I said, it is idiotic. Well, yeah, there you go. I can't do anything about it here from the U.S., but if I were you guys over there in the UK, I would be going, guys, why did you even bother filming the 60th with David Tennant when you could have waited till this coming year and filmed your 60th anniversary special and still had it out and done with the current Doctor? Why'd you bother bringing Tennant in during the spring of this year to film something you're not going to air till November of next year? Ugh. All right, Sky is now owned by Comcast. Doesn't surprise me. Channels hand over all the time. Yeah. Well, guys, we've been telling you this. Oh, yeah, Paul McGann definitely deserves anything he can get, you know. Oh, I love that D. I'll say D because I don't want to mispronounce your your middle name. I love that D. Here generated into DIRE from Roger. She did. I mean, that's hilarious. Well, yeah, but he needs more. Paul should have been in the 50th. They boned him out of that. Well, yeah, the problem was I had no control on that. The reason why they did that, here's the problem. When you have to film in a public location, despite all your good intentions, somebody's going to catch wind of it. And that's why they announced Tennant and Tate the day before they started filming on location. Because if they didn't have control of the media spin, someone else would have gotten it first. I'm trying to keep David Tennant a secret, especially when you have to film in public locations for certain things. It's nigh on impossible. Yeah, I love how everybody was ragging on Chibnall and blah, blah, this. Jody was never a Whovian before this, blah, blah, blah. And I go, and neither was Matt Smith. So, doesn't matter. It's not a prerequisite to be the Doctor that you have to be a fan of the show. That is just beyond idiotic. Well, they kind of did. Alistair. The part with Tegan, he did go into it a bit. And also Moffat covered that in Time Crash. And that's pretty much what they went with, in the end. Well, back when the Night of the Doctor aired and the 50th anniversary and all that happened, there were petitions online with tens of thousands of signatures demanding that they do a series with Paul McGann. And Moffat and the BBC said, no, it would confuse the viewers to have two different aspects of the Doctor in the TARDIS. Wow. Shows you how highly you think of your viewers. I do not watch Sky News Channel. I rarely watch the news, period. Most of the news we get in here in America is doo-doo. I'm sorry, I grew up in an age where you had local news, on independent stations. Now everybody's tied to a network. And I really don't... sadly, sometime in the course of my lifetime, news went from being something to inform you to something to entertain you. Okay? That's what happened. So that's why I don't watch the news anymore. There's no point. It's talking heads, useless information you don't need. Well, yeah, Series 14 was always planned for 2024. There was nothing around that. There is word of a Christmas special, though, that will lead into it in 2023. Because RTD literally fought tooth and nail. I think they're still picking up the bodies to get Christmas back. And once again, let's say this all. Everyone say it with me. That was not Chibnall's decision. That's the BBC's division, scheduling division. That's the marketing division. That was their decision to go with New Year's Day. You see, that's what I love. Nobody thinks of the fact the showrunner has a boss. The reason I leaned off of Moffat, I used to really hardcore attack Moffat. And then I sat down and just properly thought about it. I was like, then I talked to some other people who had new people back in the day. And they're like, yeah, he has his bosses. And his bosses say, well, you can do this, but you can't do this, this, and this. Like he wanted, like Capaldi demanded Susan back, Capaldi demanded Tegan back, Capaldi demanded literally anybody they could get back. Moffat said, I'll try, and sure enough, the BBC slammed the door in his face. Exactly. And I think the reason why Russell's going to have a lot more power than Chibnall is because, okay, guys, you've now officially used up the only guy we could talk into taking the job. So that means I'm coming back. You're going to do this shit on my terms. And if you don't like it, then guess what? The show's over. Your big cash money cow is dried up and is ready to be turned into glue or actually carved into steak and whatever. Because I'm assuming RTD is going to have a lot of creative control with Bad Wolf, and that's just an assumption. Because once again, you're pairing him and Julie Gardner back up. Yep, like I said, you can harp on Chris Chibnall all you want, but he managed to get back how many companions in one show? If you count everybody who showed up at the end, yeah, you're right. But of course, we all know, let's put on our nerd-rotic faces. It's all woke. It was virtue signaling. But it was all one big nostalgia piece. And I can't remember how to have sex, but I can talk here. Oh my God. I think I forgot how to shit, but I'll sit here and talk shit. Yeah, the BBC are in deep water. I'm not kidding. You've got all these idiots who are trying to get the BBC to go privatize, go private sector, and if you don't go streaming, you're dead. It's that simple. It's the wave of the future. It's going to take over. Hell, television sets, if they're not smart TVs in the future, then I'll be shocked. I don't know if that'll ever happen, Jessica. Yeah, thank you, Paul. Yeah, Sacha Dhawan was absolutely spot on. Well, it kind of, in a way, are. Sorry, that's the only thing I see is are. They had a character in Big Finish who was an insane Time Lord called the 11. And the reason why they called him that was because he was on his 11th incarnation, and he literally could hear the voices of all his previous incarnations in his head. He would sit there and talk to his previous selves, and it was driving him insane. Heck, I even liked the fact they brought back Vinder. I wasn't a big fan of Bell and Vinder. I thought it was a wasted storyline. Oh, yeah. I love the fact, they brought back, the musical master, so to speak. Here's the thing. What would happen to the BBC? I'm not going to make a prediction. because the BBC has done a lot of things. The BBC's now been around, for 100 years, which is why we, celebrated the centenary this past week. So I think they got a lot more bags of tricks to pull out of their head for we're going to worry about them going off the air, okay? So don't worry about it. The only good thing I know is, from what I've heard, RTD has been signed for both Series 14 and 15, and the specials, which falls into line with a 3-year contract. He's also said there's going to be at least 2 more Christmas specials. The one will not be this year. That'll start in 2023. Yeah, the reference to Annie Vanessa, that was just, that was evil. Yeah, I did. Yeah, well, they've done that before. Remember with, if I remember right, it was Troughton. When he first popped up, wasn't he in his own clothes? It's always a possibility Matt Smith may show back up. Like I said, him, Capaldi, and Thing were around the time I think they began the centenary filming. So I'm not the centenary, but I mean the 60th. So I'm not going to, really, what do you call it? I'll speculate on that. I'm really hoping they do show up, though, eventually. But remember, Capaldi kind of still has a bad taste in his mouth. Plus, I'm looking to go. I'm thinking about going to check out that series he's in now and see what that's about. Yeah, I could have swore Troughton popped up in his own clothes, didn't he? If it's been a while since I watched it, I'll have to go back and check. But yeah, I was kind of hoping, that Tennant would have got stuck in the clothes, but I thought it was enough that Sacha Dhawan running around in Jodie's clothes, wearing, he was wearing the scarf, Tennant's tie, the stick of celery, Davison's jacket, stuff like that. I thought it was hilarious. Plus playing the recorder. Yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath. Same thing with Chris Eccleston. I wouldn't count on seeing him again ever. And I kind of don't blame him for the way he was treated. Yeah, well, I got to get going myself. Thanks, Who's Books. I got to definitely check out. I got to be up in the morning. So, folks, we'll talk about it a little more in the parking lot in the morning. I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. I'm going to save my rating. We're going to do a test run on StreamYard this Friday. And then we're going to go Saturday, hopefully at 6, for the Omega Files Live. So, we'll see you all in the future. Take care, everyone. Be kind, be calm, be safe out there. Enjoy the rest of your week.